Monday, everybody. I'm so very glad you're here. Okay, real talk though. I really didn't think through shaving my hair going into the fall because now it's like just the beginning of September and I'm totally freezing my butt off, which is like, dude, meh, you live, you learn, you go with things. So there's that, right? But I actually am jumping on because I always start my day with my own self care practices, right? I'm spiritual, you all know that. So I take in spiritual texts and I take in different messages and I just kind of infuse myself with all this reminders of love and light and things that keep me focused on my path to growth and expansion, because that's what we're all doing. Nobody has it figured out unless you're enlightened, and I can tell you right now from my experience earlier today, I am definitely not enlightened. Anyway, I'm coming on today because I wanted to share something that came up for me. I'm going to read it and I wanted to break it down. So I looked in my messages and I read this. Count the garden by the flowers, never by the leaves that fall. Count your life with smiles and not the tears that roll. I want to talk to you about that. It does not align for me at all because I believe that there is such a gift in the whole of our experience. It's not just the moments of joy, of peace, of connection that help us really grow and expand into more love, more light, more connection, more joy, more all the things, right? It's the suffering. It is the tears. It's the anger. It's the fear. It's the anxiety. It's the moments of depression. It's the moments of deep angst when you don't know how it is you're going to make it through that help us really get to that place of compassion, humility, kindness for all, unconditional love for self and others, right? Not when we bypass it or simply focus on the beauty that this life has to offer. Now, don't get it twisted, guys. I am a huge proponent of appreciation, of gratitude, of going through my day and examining all of the blessings, all of the lessons, all of the gifts that I have been able to experience and receive. And yet, I don't shy away from the challenges that I go through. I examine those too and find gratitude for my suffering because it's in that willingness to experience and examine what you're moving through, what's coming up for you, what feels really hard, what feels really difficult, that you learn yourself, that you get to know yourself, that you grow. And so earlier today, I got a phone call from my father and my sister. I had made a commitment last week to pick up my nephew because my father was unavailable and totally forgot. Made it last week, totally forgot. And I get a phone call and the anxiety that was so present in the dialect that was being shared with me was palpable. And in the past, guys, I would have immediately sat in self-judgment. I would have immediately condemned myself for being a failure, for letting down my family, for whatever story I made up, right? Because that's what it is. I'm making up a story. But I didn't. I sat and I just witnessed it. And I even witnessed the little girl in me screaming from fear because she upset her dad. She upset her daddy. And I didn't react. I didn't respond. I took it as this beautiful gift that reminded me of just how freaking much work I've done. That I'm no longer willing to tear myself down for my humanity, my imperfection, my mistakes, which we all experience all the time. And then think about it. If I'm not tearing myself down, what am I doing? I'm coming from a place of unconditional love. Then I can just witness my father, my sister, and their ability to love. My sister immediately was like, "No problem. Let's pivot, Dad. I'll pick up Owen and then come get you." You know, she's able to recognize where he was getting anxious because he had a commitment that he needed to make. And rather than coming from this fear and this resistance and this angst, there was just love. There was just love. But that's what I mean by not avoiding the leaves that fall, by not avoiding the tears. Because all of the times that I didn't avoid, the times that I beat myself up, the times that I examined it, ooh, why am I beating myself up? What's coming up for me? What belief do I have that I need to pick apart, release the emotional attachment to it and let it go because it no longer serves me? For all of the moments where I let myself pour down tears, let them come and flow and continue to come, because there is not usually a week that I don't cry. I usually cry at least once a day. Don't sob anymore. I don't sob for really anything. I mean, maybe lost, but even then it feels different for me now. But if I hadn't gone through those moments, if I hadn't just allowed myself to witness what I was moving through, I wouldn't have grown. I wouldn't have gotten to the place where today I could sit and watch other people's fear and anxiety unfold and not attach myself to that. And the reality is when you attach to that, it's codependent. And most people operate, right? Like that, you know. If Nana's having a bad day, oh, I gotta feel icky, sticky, yucky because he's having a bad day. No, you don't. No, you do not. You get to still experience peace. You get to experience calm. You get to experience joy, even if your loved ones are going through angst. It's true. You deserve it. And more importantly, not only do you deserve it, that's really what we stem from. And without going on too much of a tangent here, guys, when you sit in love, you attract love. You attract more gifts and more gifts. And I'm going to tell you right now, as soon as I chose love, right, my sister offered to take my father. It ended up working itself out. I then got beautiful messages from 3 different people sharing their love they have for me onto me, which cultivated in me, guess what, taking that love that I had boiling up inside of me and extending it to other people through song, might I add, because I've been on this singing to my clients and people I love kick, because that's just who I am. And it was all love. It was all high energy. And that's why I no longer am willing to just avoid whatever's coming up for me. I'm no longer willing to pass over the dead leaves to get to the beautiful, vibrant, supposedly joyous leaves. I examine the dead leaves and I take what they offer me and I discard the rest. I am no longer willing to bypass my tears. In fact, I love my tears because my tears teach me, help me expand, and truly, truly help me have deeper compassion, love, and empathy for all others. Most importantly, they allow me to have empathy for myself, which is something the world needs more of. People giving themselves love, giving themselves kindness, giving themselves compassion that they often share externally to others but can't share internally to themselves. So today my call to action is to consider what ways in which you maybe try to avoid feelings coming up or avoid past suffering, avoid pain, And can you, rather than avoid it, welcome it, witness it, appreciate it, take it for the gift and the lesson that yeah, I crack myself up. Really, guys, life is so funny to me at this point. I'm just making thumbs. I wonder if I can make a heart for you guys because I have all right, guys, see? Game's over. I'm sending you all hearts. But in all seriousness, rather than avoiding the seemingly icky, sticky, yucky parts of our human experience, why not come from a place of curiosity and start to examine them? Not with judgment, not with cruelty towards yourself or others. That's important too. Um, but from a place of being open to learn what it has to teach you, being open to receive the lesson rather than feel like you're stuck in the angst and the suffering. Until next time, my beautiful people, I love you so much. Keep shining bright in this world. Until next time, I'm in touch. Mwah.